once again. Hi everybody, Clumsy Anna is back. I've just forgot to mute whatever the microphone. I was saying that I've been here for like 20 minutes already here in the studio of Chess24 in Madrid. We were trying to fix something that I did wrong. I prepared 3 games for you today and I somehow messed up the 2 files that I had from the previous session and today's session, and I sent myself the old version. That means that everything that I analyzed for you guys is at home and not here in the studio. Well done, Anna. So we decided that we would improvise a thematic tournament where you can practice what we learned last week. And the next session will be about the games that I have prepared for you for today. So what you need to do right now is to sign up for Miss Strategy's thematic tournament. Let's see how you can go there. You see Chess24 there, the website, and you go to play tournaments. Everybody, please do that. We have about 3 minutes until the tournament begins. So you go to play. Once again, you go to the menu, play, tournaments, and there on the list you shall see, if you go down, Miss Strategy's thematic tournament, 5-minute unrated games. We will be practicing material imbalances and converting advantages at the same time. So white will have a piece up, but for 3 pawns, and you will need to try to convert your advantage with the white pieces and try to survive with the black pieces. It's not that much of an advantage, the starting position, so don't think that everybody has to lose as black. No, you should fight, and you will also have games with the white pieces. So right now, please everybody head to chess24.com. You click on play tournaments and you find Miss Strategy's thematic tournament on the list. You need to sign up. You click here, join. I see that Bayetsny is here already, Simba 7, Matutev, Arbax, Kublai Khan, also, let me scroll down, Checking Ball, and more and more players are joining us, so that's great, guys. You still have a few more minutes to join. You see there the clock, it says we will begin in 4.5 minutes. If you haven't played before any of my thematic tournaments, let me tell you what is it about. It's not from the starting position, not from the traditional starting position of chess, but it starts from a custom position. It's already a middle game that you will see. And the position, as I already mentioned, will be a piece up for white. Black will have 3 pawns for the piece. So you shall be playing that position. Every game will start from the same position. You have 5 minutes each, and I will be commentating on the games. So the fun part is that I will be watching your games and telling you my thoughts about the games, analyzing your moves, your plans, your ideas, telling you what you did well and what you might improve. That's the point of this whole session, that we practice what we have learned together. That is how to convert the advantage of having a piece up. But that piece up is compensated with several pawns. So this is not just a piece for nothing, but it's a piece up compensated by some pawns. We have still 3.5 minutes left, so please join. I see that now we are 12 players. You can see the names here. Rating average 2050, that's quite a high rating average, guys. I see that everyone is really strong here, and from so many countries. Trump is from Greece, Arabax from Germany. So many of you are from Germany. Happy and Small, Johann Wilhelm, Game of Pawns. I like that name, by the way. Marco Varela from Argentina, Simba 7 from the United States. Also, Roland 298 is here. Is that the flag of Peru? I can't see it. It's so small. Let me know in the chat if I saw it correctly. Oh, it's Peru, yeah. If I click, I see it better. Matutev is here from Argentina, and also from Austria, B-E-Y. Let me see who else is here. I already mentioned Bayetsny, FIDE Master from Spain, and Ice Beer. Wow, that's also a cool name, from the Netherlands. At 14 players so far, we are starting in 2.5 minutes. You still have time to join. So once again, go to www.chess24.com and click on play tournament. Find the Miss Strategy's thematic tournament on the list, and that's where we will be playing a competition of 5 rounds, so this is not too long. If you don't have much time, you can count with about an hour maximum of the whole tournament. So if you have a free hour, spend it with us. I think this is the best you can do right now to improve your chess, because I will be observing your games and giving you my personal tips and advice on what can you do better. 15 players so far, the rating average is still great, it's above the 2000, and we will begin in a minute and a half. By the way, also let me know in the chat, where are you guys at the moment, because you know that I'm in Madrid and it's really hot, so I've just got some air conditioning on, and if you might hear the sound of it, I apologize if you do, but it's just too hot here. So if you don't want me to die from the heat, you need to excuse me for having an air conditioner on. Let me know where you guys are at the moment. Let me see who is here in the chat, because it's a bit tricky to read the chat if I'm at the same time trying to see the tournament, but I will open a new window and see if I can read you guys. I don't receive the new messages. Is it that nobody's talking to me, or maybe I need to refresh the page? I think it's just about refreshing, so let me do that. Let me refresh. Clumsy Anna. How do you do that, Anna? Guys, I have one screen and so many windows open. So many that I can't handle it. Okay, I got it. Think I got it. Let's try. I'm seeing my own video. That's great. It's always so great to see yourself, right? It's like looking into the mirror, but even weirder because it has sound on. You're talking to yourself. Yeah, I don't see new messages, so yeah, guys, talk to me in the chat. I'm feeling a bit lonely, but we start in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The competition begins. 23 players, that's great. It's my strategist Thematic tournament about converting advantages. You will have a piece up as white, and with black, you got 3 pawns to compensate for the sacrificed material. Let's go one by one through the games. I will try to talk about everybody's game throughout the session. So this is the starting position. It's black to move. I should have said it, guys. It is black to move. I'll say it here in the chat as well. It is black to move. Yeah, this is something I always forget, that I should mention that this is not a traditional position. Not only that it's a custom position, but it is black to move. So in this position, Ice Beer, you need to make a move. If you don't, I shall head to another game. Let's see. Game of Pawns. What's going on? Bayetsny versus Game of Pawns. What's wrong? Player failed to start on time. Okay, let's see another one. Matuta versus Hamza Freehat. Can I see this game? Yeah, they started the game, so let's comment on this one. Hamza played Rook A D8, that's a good move, and after Rook A1, well, Queen B3 has to be played. The A7 pawn, unfortunately, is about to fall. So the starting position is already, well, it is a piece up for white, as I was saying, but what you need to remember is that it isn't so easy to win this position, because there are some disadvantages in white's position, and the biggest one is the B2 knight. So we were learning about how to convert advantages, and the very first rule we had was that you should regroup. I can't pronounce it. Regroup your pieces, because once you win a piece, you often end up having clumsy pieces, and you need to make sure that your pieces are coordinating. So it was great, of course, to win the A7 pawn. That is also, of course, something nice to do, but with knight E3 and losing the piece. Okay, yeah, maybe that must have been a mouse slip. Maybe it was knight E4 that Hamza was aiming for. Am I missing something? Everything is protected, so this is a victory for white. Oh, I'm sorry for Hamza. Well done, Matutev. Let's see another game. I was explaining that the B2 knight has to be activated. So that's the piece up that white has, but as long as you keep the knight on b2, it's not easy to... Where's the queen? What's happening, guys? What went wrong? I'm talking about all this positional stuff and there are pieces dropping. What on earth? Yeah, the queen was trapped, but how? Oh, rook a c8, queen b4, and the knight moved on top of that, because if the knight did not move, then rook a1 was not such a big threat. You have queen b3, so the queen is not trapped, but after knight e4, that's a beautiful outpost for the knight, but don't forget about the queen on a2. The queen on a2 or a7, b7, b2, depending on the point of view, can often be trapped, so make sure that if you grab a pawn on the second rank of the opponent, you find a way back for the queen. So this was unfortunately a blunder. What about the other games? Arabax versus I can't pronounce it. B-E-Y. B-Y? Yeah, let me know in the chat if that's the correct one. Oh, he failed to start on time because I didn't say that it's black to move. I'm afraid that is the problem. Pak Conro versus Johan Wilhelm Mobius also failed to start on time. Oh, okay, nice. See, you guys in the chat are saying that Game of Pawns is saying that I lost because I thought I haven't got an opponent. Thanks God it's not rated. Dutch Defender is saying, Simba7 is saying that he typed something that I should read, but he can't remember what was that. Thanks Simba, I'll try to scroll back and see it. Bayashin is saying that the system told me that I had a full faith. Can't have them, very important. It was really, really important. Simba is saying, well, this was a bit unlucky for many of you, the first round, but I think it is on me because I should have told you that it is black to move in the starting position. So next round, please everybody make sure that you start with the black pieces. So whoever is playing with the black pieces, you should make the first move. Is any game still going on? Because I'm not receiving the results. So let's go one by one. Ice Bear, the game was not played. Game of Pawns also not played. Arabic BI, not Matutev. I have seen that game. It ended with a checkmate. Roland 298. Yeah, this was the queen loss, the trapped queen on a2. What about Gary 24 against Easy Rider 27? You guys like those numbers, don't you? 24. Yeah, I can understand. 27. Yeah, which one is my favorite number? I think 12, because I was born on the 12th. Yeah. Oh, this is a victory for black. The first time that black wins this position. What happened? Let's see. Let's go through the game until the second round begins. So, rook fc8 was played, and after rook fc1, h6, it's a good idea to open the back rank, so there will be no back rank mate threat ever. And yeah, after knight d2, it's getting hot in here. The queen on a2 is about to be trapped, so queen a6, very smart. That was the way to get out of the rook a1 threat. And now queen b5. I like that. I like that you keep the queen as active as possible. So even if you need to make a retreating move, later on you can of course activate the piece again. So that was very nice. Queen a6, queen b5. And then doubling rooks on the c5. Very logical. f5, I don't like much. And the reason is that we have learned that if you have a piece up, and you win a piece in a way that your pieces end up being clumsy. So by clumsy I mean mainly the b2 knight. What you should do first, and this is really, really important, the priority, is that you activate that piece. So this is many times not a one move thing. There's no knight a4, no knight d3, no knight c4. There's no good jump for that knight. You really need to make a plan in order to activate this knight. So it's not easy. But you have a piece up, and you can only take advantage of the piece up if that piece is active. As long as the knight is on b2, this position is not that much of an advantage. So you need to make sure that your very first mini plan includes how to improve this b2 knight. You need to find a way to activate it, even if it takes passive moves, even if it takes 2, 3, 4 moves, you need to find a way to activate this piece. And what happened is that was f5, e takes, queen takes, but I don't even understand why the knight was not taken like forever, because yeah, I'm talking about all the positional stuff, but the piece that is hanging, this is a piece that is hanging. What was wrong with queen takes b2? Anyway, remember the positional stuff, but also remember not to blunder pieces, because in chess, no matter how well you play positionally, if you lose a piece, if you blunder pieces, you will lose the game. So yeah, I can be preaching about positional stuffs and strategy, but if you drop pieces, unfortunately that's something you need to correct first. So make sure that you never ever give up pieces for free. It's free stuff is only good when you are given free stuff. Don't give free stuff to your opponent. And yes, mainly don't give up free stuff. Don't blunder, guys. Make sure that you concentrate. Maybe you have the video on and it's more difficult to concentrate if you are listening to me. I think what you should do is that while you are playing the game, you can mute the video. So please pay 100% attention to the game that you are playing, and then you can later on listen to what I said about your game. Maybe that's better in order to focus on the games, because I see too many piece blunders, and I'm sure that normally you would not blunder those pieces. I think it's because of the video, so mute the video while you guys are playing the game. I don't want pieces being blundered. I want you guys to play the best chess you can, because I want to see the best chess, you know, and then I can give you useful tips. Now my only tip is that do not blunder pieces. So everything else comes afterwards. The strategy that we have learned in the previous sessions, you can only apply it if you do not blunder pieces. So make sure that you do not blunder, and then you can follow the tips that I gave you last time, which was that if you have a piece up but clumsy pieces, regroup your pieces. So find a way to activate the bad pieces that you have, make them active, make the pieces work in harmony. Secondly, trade-off pieces are usually good for you if you have a piece up. That includes the queen, so you can head towards an endgame, but make sure that you only exchange pieces that are of the same value, not only meaning that a rook for a rook, but meaning that an active piece for an active piece. Don't trade your active piece for the opponent's passive piece. The third rule that we learned last time was that yes, you trade pieces, but do not trade pawns. Imagine you end up playing an endgame where you have a piece up, a knight up. If you trade all the pawns, you have nothing to win with, so you need pawns. Keep as many pawns on the board as possible. The fourth rule, well, is the general rule of being patient. So a piece up is a piece up forever, but you should be patient, especially when you are maneuvering your pieces. And you need to improve your pieces, so that takes time. Be patient and move. Rule number 5 was that yes, you should be patient, but if the opponent starts advancing the pawns that he has as a compensation for the piece, then you should act immediately, because advanced pawns can compensate for the piece a lot better than not so advanced pawns. So when his pawns are on the back, when still on the 7th, 6th rank, it's alright. But once he starts advancing his pass pawns, suddenly they become so dangerous. They can compensate for a rook or even a queen when his pawns are that advanced. Make sure that you act before the opponent comfortably advances his pass pawns. Second round is up, so let's start talking about this game. And Shockfriend was asking if the community played a tournament, and Anna is analyzing that. Yes, that is exactly what we are doing. So this is a Miss Strategist thematic tournament being played right now. So I'm commenting on games that are being played at the moment. So this is a game between Johann Wilhelm Mobius and Katzenpfeffer. My German is horrible, excuse me for that. Rook fc8 was the first move that Katzenpfeffer played, and then knight d2. I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at my horrible pronunciation. Knight d2 was played by white. This is a very A very dangerous move that many of you guys have spotted. Knight d2 already threatens to trap the queen on a2, so it's a great idea to go back to a6. Even if it looks passive, you need to retreat with the queen in order to avoid that you lose your queen. So great idea, queen a6. You can activate the queen later on. I like this rook f3 move. You can bring the rook from the third rank either to the king side or to the queen side, but you should, once again, as white, find a way to activate the b2 knight. As long as the knight is on b2, this position is not that bad for black. And I will have a sip for that. By the way, do you guys have a chess 24 mug? Because you should get one. Yeah, Duke Crusher is saying that white starts a piece up. That is true, because we are practicing how to convert an advantage. So white has a piece compensated by 3 pawns for black. So this is a slightly better position for white. Slightly better because the pieces were clumsy. But look at that, that's beautiful. Johann Wilhelm Mobius, I'm proud of you. Knight d1 in order to play knight c3 next move. So you see that it takes time. And it takes retreating passive moves like knight d1, but you need to do this firsthand. This is a priority, that you activate your pieces. Do not leave the extra piece being clumsy. Make sure that your pieces are active, and that's when your piece up will actually seem to be a piece up. Now you really have a piece up. So that's the game. That was very well played by Johann Wilhelm. And now after queen a5, there can be some tricks, because black also played very well. I like that Katzenstofe played rook c7 and rook c8, doubling his rooks on the c5, so there could have been a threat of discovered attack. Knight b5, well played by Johann Wilhelm, so that there would be no threat against the c3 knight, and also he activated his knight. Look at this. This is very instructive. I'm so proud of you, Johann Wilhelm Mobius. You had a knight on b2, and with that knight, what you did was beautiful. This is what we learned. You should bring your knight, no matter how many moves it takes. Knight d1, knight c3, and then he went knight b5 and knight d6. This is exactly what we learned in the last session. I'm very proud of you and everybody else who learned from me at least this one thing, that you shouldn't leave your pieces being clumsy. If you end up with material up, but by winning material, your pieces are sort of here and there, not being connected, not working in harmony, then you should think about how to regroup your pieces. And that was a brilliant example. You played very well with the white pieces, and now the rest of the pieces can come. So rook a1, you can bring the other rook to a3, and so on and so on. But the first step, and the most important step, was to activate the b2 knight. Let me check another game, because this was really good. This was very well played by white. Luna 13 is playing against Matuzev. Oh, Luna has left, unfortunately. Easy Rider 27 against Checking Bull. Let's see this game. Whoa! What happened? Now it's not a piece up, but you have 2 minor pieces for a rook and 3 pawns. This is quite sad. Knight c2 is a good move so that you are blocking the connected pass pawns. You should manage to block them, but if you do not, this will be lost. And yeah, after rook c4, black is preparing for pushing the pawns with b4, b3, a3. All those pawns are storming ahead. This is bad. How did you lose the piece? I'm wondering what happened. Oh, okay, this was a blunder. Guys, do not blunder. Rook c1 stepping into the fork, knight b3. Don't do that, please. Guys, I'll have a heart attack one day. Yeah, make sure that you do not blunder. Rook c1, of course, would have been a lovely move to activate the rook, but make sure that you pay attention to the knight. The knight is such a tricky piece. All these forks. I also used to step into forks all the time, so I know how painful it is that you blunder where the knight jumps, but make sure that you do not blunder. Guys, this is the first rule. No matter what we learn, I don't want you to blunder pieces. This was another game that did not start. Let's see, Simba 7 versus Paconro. Where are you guys? Paconro is not here either. What happened? What happened? happy and small airbags. Okay, this game is going on. Whoa, there's only one pawn for the piece, and that pawn is about to drop. So very well played by happy and small. I want to see how they started the game. Oh, let's scroll down because I think you don't see the position well. Like this. A5 and knight d3. Getting rid of the piece. So very good. That's the other option that, of course, you need to do something about the b2 knight. One thing is to maneuver it to a better place, and then the other one, very logical, is to get rid of it. Trade this knight for an active knight. The c5 knight was really active, so knight d3 is a great move. And now you see that your pieces are finally working. The b2 knight was not only a passive piece in itself, but it was also blocking the b file for the rook. Now this b1 rook is actually already attacking the pawns that you need to stop. So what I was saying as rule number 5 is that if your opponent has connected passed pawns, do not let him advance them all the way up. You should make sure that you do something before it's too late. And now it's 3 pawns. Yeah. Oh, rook c8, and look at that pawn. Yes, sometimes this can happen. This is the power of the passed pawn, and that is going to be our coming up topic. In a few weeks we will start learning about that as well. Yes, this unfortunately happens sometimes, that you will have to give up pieces for the pawn. It was just, well, he managed to block it, so this was good. I forgot about the back rank. Very good. Knight d4 and c2 is now winning the piece because of the back rank. So if the pawn was on h6 or the king was on f8 already, then in this position black plays c2 and he wins the piece back. But this is not the case because of the back rank, so one move too short, and I was too quick to say that black was doing fine. Still, it was dangerous because he had this other pawn, but very well played by Happy and Small that he brought his king. He activated the king and then he took care of the passed pawns with the rook and the knight. So very good job. Actually, this was another very instructive model game. And I want to see some more games from this round. Trump against Roland 298. Let me see. Where's everybody? Guys? What happened? Let me see in the chat. What's going on? Okay, yeah, Chronic student is saying that he saw the back rank. Well, I didn't. I forgot about it. Happens. When you want to analyze something too quick, it happens. Also in Blitz, just make sure that you never blunder the back rank, as I did. What about the other games? Why is everyone gone? Guys? Whoa! What a queen trapping. Look at this position. Once again, we saw how well Johan Wilhelm played by activating his knight, but what we did not see coming is that he would win the queen a move later. So rook b8, well, the rook was hanging, so I stopped too early. I was just praising him for the knight maneuver, and it's already winning for white, but he was winning actually immediately because the queen has nowhere to go. Very well played. Look at this. This was so instructive. First of all, he took some time to activate the b2 knight, and once the knight was active, the position was winning on the spot. All he needed to do was to play the right moves in the right time. So knight d1, knight c3 were, I think, the most difficult ones because those are passive moves. Knight d1 especially is not something that you normally would play. But once you find those moves, your position is winning immediately. Look at this. It's not only that he managed to improve the knight, but the queen on a5 was trapped. So either you drop the rook on c8 or you lose the queen. This was beautifully played. I stopped too early to analyze this position. I should have also waited for the next move, and this beautiful queen trapping. Very well done by Johan Wilhelm. And for Katzenstofe, this was really difficult to play because white played very well. So don't worry about losing this game because you did well bringing back the queen with queen a6. You shouldn't have played queen a5. That was the blunder, because I understand you wanted to do something about this c3 knight, some discovered attack if you jump away with the knight, and the c3 knight would have been hanging But white played very well, and knight b5, knight d6 is just so logical and such a strong maneuver. Wins on the spot, wins the rook or the queen. So wow, this was really instructive. What about the other games? Is there anyone still playing? Let me try to find a game that's still going on. No. I'm afraid that some of you guys left after the first round because you thought that the competition was not working. And so if you thought that there was a system problem and you left the tournament, well, this was another game. Let me scroll up so you can see it. Between Easy Rider 27 with the white pieces against checking ball. This is what we saw. We didn't see the whole game, but we saw that he dropped his rook. So he had two minor pieces because of stepping into this knight fork with knight b3. And yeah, then it was difficult. It was really difficult. What happened afterwards? I want to see, because this position, it's just so difficult to stop those connected pass pawns. Basically impossible. Mission impossible. b4. So that he could go a3. And after knight dc2, a2 simply, knight a1. Yeah, when you need to play moves like this, unfortunately, it's bad news. It is, for the moment, preventing the promotion, but on the long run, this cannot be true, unfortunately, having such passive pieces. So even if black is not winning on the spot in this endgame, this is winning. All you need to do is to activate your king and start pushing the other pass pawn that you had, the d pawn. So you will have an active rook, an active king, and another pass pawn, while white's knights are tied up to the defense of the a1 square. So this position is lost, unfortunately, and it's a very painful and long journey until you lose the game, unfortunately. Yeah, some checks, some going back and forth. Even after dropping the a2 pawn, this position is winning because of the very active black king. Of course, you can blunder. There's always a chance that your opponent blunders. But with the king cut on the b file, this is really horrible. So if the white king was at least closer, if it was on e3, even then with the g and h pawns, this would be a lost position. But by having the king cut, this is just, unfortunately, a position where you could resign unless you blunder your rook. No way, guys. What's going on? Is it Fool's Day? Why is everyone blundering? Checking ball, you play this game brilliantly. Why do you blunder? I mean, I think even after blundering, you might be... No, you're not in time. I was going to say that you will promote, but no, because of the e5 pawn, you will not promote first. Why? Please. Why is this happening? No way. I'm sorry for you, checking ball, because you played a very instructive game and you actually turned the tables. You started with a piece down and you ended up having more material than your opponent, but then you gave it back with rook e4. Why so greedy? You didn't need that e5 pawn. At least not this way. You could have just advanced your passed pawn. Anyway, so this whole rook e4 maneuver was unfortunately very bad. Well, it happens, but guys, make sure that you do not blunder, because I'm here to tell you about strategy, and blundering pieces is not really what we learned last session. Of course, I always tell you to pay attention to your pieces and not blunder, but we are a step ahead of that in terms of our strategy shows. So what we learn is how to convert your advantage and not how to blunder your advantage. So let's see what's going on in the third round. Matutev is saying that maybe we have to practice some tactics. That's actually a good point. And remember that in 50 minutes after my show, Miss Tactics will be here, so you can and you should challenge her in her Banter Blitz, so you will be practicing attacking chess and tactics, because she is an excellent teacher for improving your tactical skills, and I think we all need it. I also blunder, so don't think that I'm a saint and I'm just preaching that, oh, you blunder, you blunder. I blunder too. It happens to everybody. It happens even to the world champion and to all the super grandmasters. But try to lower the frequency of your blunders, so make sure that you pay attention to your pieces. The less you blunder, the stronger you will get. So that is something very important. Stay here after my show for practicing tactical skills with Miss Tactics. Sopika Gorm is really my best friend. And also make sure that you use the Tactics Trainer on Chess24. Go to chess24.com, Tactics Trainer, and then you will definitely have a better tactical vision. Third round, let's see. Not started yet, game's not yet available. Please stand by. That's a moment for having a drink. Matuda was saying that we will crush some Miss Tactics. Well, it is not easy to crush Miss Tactics. She's a very strong player, so I think it's of course great to be ambitious, but I would put my money on Miss Tactics. I would always cheer for her, and I think she's an excellent teacher, an excellent player, so she has such a great aggressive attacking style. I admire it because my style is totally different. I'm just this positional, strategic, long-term plan girl, and she goes all in and she attacks the opponent's king, and I admire her style. I wish I could have more of that, and then I would be, I think, a super player if I had both styles in my games. So I'm learning from Sopiko. I always follow her shows, and you should do the same. After our tournament is over, we are waiting for round 3, so please stay here. We are not done. Games will start shortly. Is there still a game going on? Because it's weird that the round is not starting yet. So I don't know if you guys see it, but it says games not yet available. Please stand by. Okay, Matuta was saying that it was just a joke. You Crusher says that he was doing okay against Miss Tactics. That's great, that's well done. You should of course always challenge everybody here on Chess24. So you have Sopiko playing Banter Blitz, you have Peter Zwitter playing Banter Blitz, Jan Gustafsson of course, Pepe Cuenca, and all the other Chess24 authors. Make sure that you challenge them whenever you have the chance, because this is a great opportunity for you to face such strong players as these Chess24 authors. I think I should also have Banter Blitz, but I stick to the Middlegame shows for the moment, because you guys say that this is very instructive, so that is why we have so many Miss Strategies Middlegame shows, because what the received feedback is that you find it very instructive, and that is so great. I'm so happy if you guys enjoy my Middlegame shows and that you guys actually find it really useful, and you learn in every session something new and something that you can use to improve your chess. So that is the reason why every week, whenever I can, I stream about middle games and strategy. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy these sessions, and today we are practicing how to convert advantages. I wonder why the round is not starting, but yeah, bear with me. You can ask me questions why we are not starting, because I don't know why, but the round is not starting yet. So let's take this moment for a Q&A. Any questions? You Crusher is saying that he would hate to risk his beautiful rating at the moment. Well, of course that's something to take into account, but I think the opportunity to face stronger opponents is always something that you should appreciate. And even if you lose the games and you lose rating is just a number. I wouldn't worry much about your rating. I mean, I had 2400 and then I dropped 100 rating points. But yes, of course I would like to get back my rating, but I don't think that I'm a worse chess player because I competed worse in some tournaments. I don't think that your knowledge decreases because you lose rating points. So I think you should all focus on improving your knowledge, and very less about your rating points, because the rating will come if you learn and if you improve. Don't be so obsessed about rating points. I think we would all play better chess if we forget about rating points, because that is something like, it makes us play in a way that you worry more about the result. I think that's what I was trying to say, that the best chess you play when you enjoy the game and you just focus on doing the best that you have in that given moment. Always the best move. Just one move, not the result. But once we start thinking about the final result, it can just blow up the whole game, because you might start to be too confident or too worried or too anything. Emotions will influence the game too much. Instead of being objective and just enjoying the game that you are playing, you will be worried about losing or drawing a winning game, or not being able to give mate in 3 moves when you had a queen up, and I don't know. Those stuffs about thinking about the result don't help. So try not to think about it. I know it's difficult for me too, but once you learn that what you should focus on is the given moment in chess, the next move, always the next move, the next good move, you will do better. You'll do better if you don't think about the result, and if you don't think about the the result and the rating points. What is this? Some window popped up and I was like, what? Round 3 is not starting yet. Let me refresh the page. Guys, this is weird. So we are back at the Miss Strategies Thematic Tournament. Round 3 is not starting. Well, I think that today I'm not lucky. First of all, I forgot all my analysis at home. All the games that I prepared for you are sitting on my computer at home, and that's why we improvised the thematic tournament. I love thematic tournaments, but I love the thematic tournament when it works. And now I don't think it's working. So that is bad luck. Anyways, my show was scheduled until 5:30, so that is in 12 minutes. We can use this time for some question and answer session. I don't know if I can play games. Let me try to. Guys, you can try to challenge me, but I don't know if this setup is good for Banter Blitz. It was a setup for thematic tournament, so I'm not sure if I accept the challenge now. I can play. Let me see. Okay, these are friend requests. I have my notifications. I have too many things. I don't have challenges. Guys, if you don't challenge me, I cannot play. Let's see. Okay, suggestion by Trump is to jump to round 4. Still nothing. Round 5 starts in 3 minutes? What on earth? Okay, so we have a 5th round. What happened to round 3 and 4? No idea. But the next round and the final round begins in 3.5 minutes. And what happened to the points? Do you guys see the standings? Why nobody has a point at least? Luna has 1 out of 1. But you guys played more games. This is wrong. Something is completely wrong. Oh my, I'm so sorry for you. Because this was supposed to be a thematic tournament where I can be commentating on your games, but instead we are just looking at the round starts soon button. Well, let's see if there's something happening in 3 minutes. If not, I will accept your challenges for a Banter Blitz. We have still 10 minutes, so we should take advantage of that. Yeah, I see that there's some system problem, unfortunately. Thank you guys for your understanding and for sticking here with me even like this. Okay, Karsten is also saying that it's not working. Better challenge her. Yeah, Easy Rider 27. No 3rd and 4th round, but the 5th round. I think we should see what happens in 2.5 minutes, because there might be one final good round, if it works at least for the last round. We don't play these tournaments for the medals, so yeah, of course it's great to gain points. This is unrated, so it's not rating points, but it's good to win tournaments in general. Who wouldn't like to have a tournament victory? But even if this tournament doesn't go normally, like there have been some weird games, no games played, and there have been rounds that we skipped, round 3 and 4. If the last round goes well, I would still like to commentate on your games, because that's the point of this whole show. When it's about a thematic tournament, I want to help you improve your chess, and that's why I'm looking at your games, and I can see what you do well and what you have learned from the shows and what you can still learn from me, what tips I can give you. So let's see if in 1.5 minutes I will have some games to commentate on. If not, we can play maybe a game or two. I don't know how much time we will have left. So that is unfortunately what has happened today. Unlucky for all of us, for me for losing the material, for leaving the material at home and then wanting to do a thematic tournament and it's not working. Oh, Game of Pawns is saying that he didn't play a game. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So let's see if in 52 seconds we will have a tournament. Oh, Colin is here. Thanks, Colin, for helping us out. He's saying that it seems that there were some changes made to the tournaments today. So actually, the IT geniuses of Chess24 are working on the tournament system today. And I didn't know that. So while they are changing the whole system and fixing bugs, I couldn't stream about the tournament. I did not know that it would collide with their schedule, so that is really bad luck. I don't know if we will have games starting in 10 seconds, but apologies everybody from me. I shouldn't have scheduled the tournament for today. It was improvised and it was not planned, so nobody could warn me in advance that today was not the day for tournaments, because the IT team is working on the tournament page today. Yeah, no games available. I'm sorry about that. I think we have time for at least a game or two, so please challenge me at least. I have 6 challenges. That's great. So unfortunately I can't accept everybody's challenge, but let's see with whom shall I go. I will pick a few, but I wish I could play more games against you guys, and I wish that we would have had the tournament played under normal circumstances. Don't tell me that I can't even play, because I see the board but my opponent hasn't made a move. Oh, it's working! It's working! And I can play the French. That's great. I'm excited! I'm excited! Let's see. Brave Sir Robin from the United States is my opponent. We are playing the French defense, one of the main lines. The only problem is that I have the lights in my face and I don't see the screen properly. It's not an excuse, of course. I'm just saying that. Normally, when I play chess, I don't have a lamp in my face. I don't know if you guys play the French, but this is a very normal position in the French. Of course, black has space disadvantage, so I'm trying to do something about the central pawns. If you don't challenge white's central pawns, then you will end up having a bad position. So I will take this guy, and then I want to develop my pieces. After taking the d4 pawn, of course the e5 pawn is weak, so that is my new target. And the bad bishop, of course, always in the French is the c8 bishop. You see how bad it is. I can't even develop that bishop, but I can develop the other bishop. Well, normally I wouldn't want to trade this bishop if you just think about, oh, that's my good bishop, but in the French you lack so much space, and this bishop on d4 is protecting the e5 pawn, so I would like to get rid of it. Now he wants me to take on d4 and he would take back with the pawn so that he would be defending the e5 pawn. And therefore I will go queen b6 first. Attack the b2 pawn and see what he does. I also could have taken and given a check on a5, that was the other option. I don't think b4 was a good move because now after taking on d4 he cannot take back with the pawn because his b4 pawn will be hanging. And if he takes back with the knight, then the e5 pawn is hanging. So you see, this is how easy the French defense is. Today's lesson was about how to play the French defense and win a pawn in 10 moves. Yeah, at least we learned something today. I forgot my files at home, then the tournament did not work, but at least the French defense is still a great opening. You know that the French defense is my favorite opening, so I always praise it, but of course I don't think that this is the best opening on earth. I can take on d4 or I can take on e5. I can take on e5 with both knights actually, so I will think a bit about how to place my pieces, which one is the best. I think I will go with this one. And I want to castle before there's something nasty coming like knight b5, knight d6 or bishop b5, but for the moment everything is well protected. I just need to make sure that I don't blunder. For instance, the knight on e5, I can take on f3 or take on c6 with the knight, but I need to make sure that I move the knight. I can't blunder it. Let's take here. Oh, and I see now you guys are saying in the chat that you cannot challenge me because you are signed up for the thematic tournament. That's such a bad luck. So it's not only that I scheduled the tournament that I was not supposed to do today because of the IT team working on the tournament system now. I did that, and on top of that, it is causing you not to be able to challenge me. I'm sorry. I promise that next time I will do a proper show with my games analyzed, brought to the studio, not left at home like a bad schoolgirl who leaves her homework at home. And also, if I do Banter Blitz, it will be a normal Banter Blitz and not a thematic tournament. Next time I schedule a thematic tournament, it will be on a day when I'm allowed to do a thematic tournament. I played e5 because I wanted to develop my bishop. Of course, it's always a bit, you need to be careful because you might drop your pawns. The e5 pawn is now vulnerable. Luckily there's no b5 and such, and I need to castle. But if I castle knight g5, or bishop takes, does that work? No, I don't think that works. Thanks Colin for helping. He says he will stop the tournament in a second. Thank you. This is getting really dangerous. I can get mated. After queen d3 I have e4 luckily still, but you see that even with the pawn up it's not so easy to win a game in the French because my king is alone. I don't have the f6 knight. The f6 knight is such a good defender. Guys, if you don't have that knight on the board, your king might end up in trouble. I'm just lucky that I have this e4 move, so if queen d3 is not winning. Also, if queen h5, queen g6, I can still block the diagonal of the c2 bishop. And that is why I'm not losing on the spot. Okay, he wants to push the b pawn. I'm not sure that's good for him because I would like to play knight a5, knight c4 in that case. And also, I think I will just simply play e4. And then I have this nice spot on e5 for the knight. Knight e5, look at that. And then knight c4, I can bring the rook to the c5, semi-open 5 for my rook. The c3 pawn is a backward pawn, a weakness. So you should, of course, attack the opponent's weak pawns, weak squares. That's what I'm doing. Knight e5, heading towards the outpost on c4, and the c5 for my rook so that I can target the c3 pawn. Bishop b3, well played. I just need to not blunder anything. So if knight e5 and he takes on d5, I need to make sure that I'm not losing the piece. But since I don't think that's the case, I will play knight e5. Also, I can head to d3 with the knight. That's another spot. Knight d3. Let's see what he will do now. Also, if bishop takes d5, I can either take back and then knight f7 after the queen takes d5 check, or bishop takes d5, rook d8, and that's winning a piece. Let's see, queen h5. I think I'll just go rook. f5. I like my position a lot because it's not only a pawn up, but I have a very strong center. So having those pawns in the center is something that really helps my position. Let's double rooks on the f5. I was saying that I would attack the c3 post pawn, what am I saying? The c3 backward pawn, but now I really feel like I should go after the f2 pawn. Look at that pawn. All my pieces are attacking the f2 pawn. Isn't that great? And now I can take it. How shall I take it? With the rook? Okay, he wants to play c5 afterwards, so maybe I shouldn't be celebrating yet. But wait a second, how shall I do this? I can take with the rook and then I will have rook takes f1. I think that's correct. He can take and then we trade on f2 and then he will take on d5. So maybe I was too greedy and I shouldn't have double rooks on the f5 and go for the f2 pawn. But that was just so tempting that I couldn't resist. So I went for it. I think he should take on f2. But no, then I will take with the rook and he doesn't have time to play c5 because his queen is hanging. So yeah, I take back my words. I think this was the perfect plan. And now I can either take the queen. Shall I take the queen and he will take my queen? I take back on b6, he can take on f8. That's what I will do. The other option was rook takes f1 check and then I can move the queen. But let's just trade queens in this way. So I have an extra pawn as well, and if he takes on f8 I don't mind that because he will be bringing my king towards the center. In the end game you should activate your king, so I want this king to come closer to d6. I have all these passed pawns, so it's a great position, it's a winning position. I just need to be faster and do not blunder. How shall I do this? Let's take this. It's good to trade pieces. If he takes with the rook I have rook b2. If he takes with the king, I think I will give a check first, ask the king where it goes. If he goes back, I might go rook b2. Yeah, why not? Maybe this was not the best way to deal with the position, but I thought it was good enough. I want to bring the king. He wants to take my pawn and then he would promote. Okay, I'll not let you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, brave Sir Robin. This was a fun game because I was able to play the French defense. So thank you, brave Sir Robin, for allowing me to play my favorite opening, which is the French defense. I think what you could have done better was in the opening after c5. Of course there are many variations and this wasn't bad, but the blunder was the move b4. So all this thing about taking back on d4 with the bishop, then protecting it with the c3 pawn, that's all fine, but you shouldn't push the b pawn. It's tempting, of course, after queen b6 to go b4. That's aggressive and force things. But after b4, you can never take back on d4 with the c pawn. So you should keep the pawn structure on the queen side just like it is right now. Pawn on c3, the other pawn on b2, the bishop on d4. You can play here, for instance, queen d2. If you have heard about the b2 pawn, you can also play even queen b3. Queen d2 is more natural, of course, but there's really no big danger in this position if you keep everything protected. b4 was the blunder because after b4 bishop takes d4 and there's just no way to avoid the loss of material. Either you take back with the c pawn and you drop the b pawn, or you take back with the knight on d4, then I win the e5 pawn. So after that I had some issues about my king in the French defense. That's also something that happens since I don't have an f6 knight and white can attack the king. Luckily I had this strong central pawns. Look at all those pawns, e6, e5, d5, so there's no queen d3 because I can play e5 to e4. Thank you guys for being here today. I'm really sorry for all the mess that I have created. It was clumsy Anna 2.0. First of all, as you know, I prepared 3 analyzed games for you for the converting advantages topic, and I left it at home. I sent myself the wrong file. Then I scheduled a thematic tournament when the IT team of Chess24 is working on the tournament page. I did not know it because I didn't plan to do a thematic tournament today. It was improvised. We thought with David, the Spanish director of Chess24, that why not do a thematic tournament if I already left the material I prepared for you guys at home. So it didn't work out. It didn't work out because today is not the day when the tournament page works, unfortunately. So apologies for that. Next time I plan a thematic tournament, I'll make sure that I ask the IT team that it is okay for the day that I select to actually carry out a thematic tournament. So it's my bad. I'm apologizing. Really, really sorry, guys. Also, I will do a normal Banter Blitz one day so that everybody can challenge me. Today I could only play one game because it was not supposed to be a Banter Blitz. It was a Middlegame show about converting advantages. Next time I'll be here, you will see the material I prepared for you. I will make sure that I mail it to myself. I will copy it to the USB stick. I will do everything I can so that I bring it to the studio and show you guys the games I have prepared for today. Make sure that you stay here on Chess24 because in about 24 minutes, Sopika will start her Banter Blitz session, and she is great at Banter Blitz. So she is such an instructive teacher. She explains every step of the game, that she goes through her own thoughts, and after the game she always analyzes the whole game and what you could do better. So it's a very instructive session to listen to her Banter Blitz. You should challenge her, and also you should listen to her explaining the games, her thoughts, her process of thinking about the opening, the middle game and the end game stage of the game, and also the tips that she gives you, because she is a very generous teacher and a great host. Of course, you know that I'm a big fan of her shows, and I will be watching as well when she's playing her games. So it's starting in 23 minutes, 6 o'clock Central European time. I don't know in which time zone are you guys, let me know in the chat. But if you just stay here for the next 20 and so minutes, 23 minutes, in 23 minutes she will begin her show. Thanks once again for being here. Apologies for my clumsiness, and next time I'll make sure that everything works perfectly. I hope that you still had fun. I hope that you still learned something from today. If not, you learned that Anna is definitely the clumsiest person on earth. I'll see you guys next week or the week after, because it's Norway Chess. So make sure that you are watching Norway Chess here on Chess24 with Peter Svidler and Jan Gustafsson commentating. Yes, so after Norway Chess, I'll be back for sure with some really well prepared shows and everything working perfectly IT-wise as well. Have a lovely week and make sure that you challenge Sopiko. Best regards to everyone. Enjoy Norway Chess, that's coming up in a few days with brilliant commentary by your beloved Chess24 authors. See you after the shows. Bye bye.